So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Operating from the gun, Larson. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On 2nd down, Hill. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. To throw on 3rd down, Larson. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. Now a first down carry, it's Hill. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
To throw on 2nd down, Larson. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down.
I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, already looked his way a couple of times on this opening drive. Can't connect there. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. He's at the 50. 30. 20. 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Washington. Well, it was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too. They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there that sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line to center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Let's go! Green, 39! Green!
Following the penalty, it's Hill. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. And our statistician, Ben Ramsar, just held up 3 fingers to remind me he now has 3 tackles for a loss only in the 1st quarter.
Well, Ben's got it detailed perfectly. He always gives us the right stats. I'd love to be on the offense's headset right now because what you're hearing is, can someone please...
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This is brought in at the 21. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Allen off the play fake. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. On play action, Allen. And now he'll tuck it and run. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, get some 9 yards and a 1st.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man. Equinemius St. Brown. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one goes for 24 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Allen will try again on 2nd down. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up on Levante David. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Now a play fake here on first down. On the crossing route, complete. That's Larson. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense.
Right,
sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
And that's now the second time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively. And you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
So after the INT, it's Allen. The connecting here with DJ Shark. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. DJ Shark hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Redskins get the quick strike touchdown. This time, the extra point up and good. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field, and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
All right, here we go.
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass.
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Throwing on third and long. Larson. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that that one was incomplete, huh? I mean, truthfully, how many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, I've got the exact play to dial up?
No, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A good starting spot for the Redskins as they come up 1st and 10.
Lucky 56.
Play action. Now it's Allen. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. DJ Chark with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Extra point right down the middle, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Well, still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 1st and 10, Larson. He's got Mason complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. A gain of 6 there on first. Looking to throw on second down. Larson toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Let's go.
Looking to throw. Larson over the middle, complete. That's Larson. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving. Back to throw. Larson, a dump off now to Hill. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. From the gun, Larson, quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 3rd down, Larson. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
That one complete. He finds Sharp. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down is Allen. Flush to his right. Room to run past midfield. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Here's Allen. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there as the first half is winding down, and the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use.
And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we've reached halftime here in D.C. in our nation's capital with a home team, the Redskins, on top. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
They go play action here on first down. Allen hit. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Allen looks to throw on second down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Yannick Ngakoue in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. From the gun, it's Allen. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's fourth.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. This is taken at about the 14. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stopped it.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's second and 15.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Off play action. Larson. They drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun, Larson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded just inside the 30. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Operating from the red zone now. Allen, he'll buy some time right. This is caught. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it first and goal.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. So the shotgun snap to Allen, eluding the pressure right. And he will score. Touchdown, Washington. Josh Allen taking it in. And this Redskins offense continues to pour it on.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
A play fake, and it's Darnold. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Darnold now to throw. And that's incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Green 39! Green 39!
On 2nd down now. Hill. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On 1st down, Allen steps away to his left. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run. Back now at FedEx Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Allen. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Throwing is Allen on third. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Allen will look to throw for it on fourth. And it is incomplete. Jay Gruden's guys unable to convert on fourth down. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are. Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13. The shotgun snap for Darnold. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect it. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to fourth down. And now the Tampa Bay field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Josh Allen leads the offense out for their next possession. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, my man, what do you need? What's going on here? So he's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
Dancing to his left. Now it's caught at the 10. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 49 yards.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and tell him to go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Now Allen throwing on second down. Forced out to his left. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. On 1st and 10, Darnold got his man complete over the middle. That's Mason. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. On 2nd down, Darnold, and that's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Darnold, and unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's 4th.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
And we'll see what he can do on the return. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right? And sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. So Allen's going to look to throw. They'll roll him out right. Open man right side is Sharp. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. And that one results in 35 yards.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again. It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down? The offense or the defense? Let's face it. If you get the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Here we go now. Blue, line it.
Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And almost intercepted. That would have been his 3rd pick in this game alone. Instead, 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They can now enjoy the final stages of this one. A very convincing win. I don't know what was said in the locker room, but whatever it was, it worked pretty well.
It certainly did, and it's probably a capper to everything that was said during the week because they go over every eventuality. I mean, you know how coaches are. They want to cover every minute detail all the way up to how much time does it take to walk.
And this is caught. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. A fourth quarter score, meanwhile, from Kansas City. It's been back and forth, but the Chiefs have now taken the lead. Russell Wilson, he was the story there with 4 touchdown passes. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Blue 90! Blue 90!
To throw on 2nd down is Darnold. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. All right, Charles, as a former defensive back, how disheartening to actually catch it but just not be able to stay in bounds there defensively.
Well, extremely, because you know the rap against us defenders is that we're frustrated offensive guys who can't catch. And he caught it, just couldn't get his feet down in bounds. It's that second part that finished off the play for him.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Redskins looking for another timeout, and they get it. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
On 1st down, it's Darnold. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside.
Now let's go! Green!
Darnold from the gun. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And Allen is actually going to throw it here. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for the Redskins, their strong September has carried over to October as they move to 5-0. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Dallas Cowboys next week. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.